What's good, everybody? MMA as a sport is at a beautiful point currently where it's practiced by a lot of people, and yet there isn't still a private system where the best of the athletes are separated from the rest, right? If you train MMA in a good gym, in a big city, in the US, for example, there's a really high chance that you've had pro MMA fighters or even guys that are fighting or have fought in the UFC in your gym training with you, like on the mat with you, bro. The MMA world is so small that these guys are really within reach if you think about it. Just the other day, a friend told me that, Faziev was liking her story's friend on Instagram, so shit's crazy, bro. I didn't know Faziev was a dog, but all this to say, UFC fighters being your friends isn't the craziest thing in the world. It's not like being friends with Messi or being friends with Lebron James. So today we're going over which UFC fighters would realistically be your friends and how it would happen, right? But before anything, we have to define what is a friend, right? So what is a friend? I feel obligated to include this section because, not only do MMA fans not have any friends, which is factual, but also we need to all be on the same page as to what a friend is. In this situation, if you and this MMA fighter, they go out for drinks, you train together, you end up having each other's phone number, or you're just able to contact each other in general, I consider you two friends, all right? So maybe some people would say that's an acquaintance, some people would say that's just somebody you know, but if you guys can talk every day, you can reach out and the person's gonna answer, you two are friends, right? So before I talk about which fighters would be your friend, we have to get into which fighters definitely would not be your friend, like the fighters you have to stay away from, all right? Stranger danger, Jon Bones Jones. Oh, you thought I would go a whole video without mentioning my hate for this individual. Jon Jones is someone you need to stay far, far away from, right? Man or woman, no one is safe from this guy. He's been arrested multiple times. This guy fucking fails drug tests all the time. If you're actually fighting him, you're in the gym, you're a training partner of him in the gym, he's gonna eye poke you. He's gonna nut shot you. We saw that video of him training with Gable Stevenson. This motherfucker flying kneed Gable Stevenson in training. Right, so you're not even safe as a training partner of his. God forbid he gets a little bit of alcohol, right? God forbid he gets a little bit into those substances around you. You're cooked, bro. Man or woman, he's gonna assault, he's gonna touch you, bro. Like Jon Jones, maybe he'll never hurt you directly, but being in his general vicinity, partying with him, training with him, is just a recipe for disaster, bro. Stay away from Jon Bones Jones, all right? On to the next fighter and a little bit of a similar situation. Gable Stevenson, the loophole himself. In 2019, Gable Stevenson did not face criminal charges because basically the Minnesota law said if you got drunk by your own volition and then someone R-words you guys see the word on the screen, someone does that to you, it's your fault. Basically, that was the law up until 2021, and in 2019, Gable Stevenson basically just assaulted a woman that was under the influence, which in every situation ever, you ask anybody, it doesn't matter, you're right wing, left wing, whatever, that's a violation. Like, you get drunk of your own volition and then someone takes advantage of you, that's crazy. So basically, Gable Stevenson, by proxy of Jon Jones, by what he's done in his past, the type of guy he is, stay away from this brother, all right? On to which UFC fighters would actually be your friends. Starting off with Jiri Rrochazka. Now, I feel like you guys would have I don't know if I'm going to put him on the thumbnail yet. I haven't made the thumbnail yet, but you guys should have expected this. Jiri Rrochazka, one of my favorite MMA fighters, and just an all-around swell guy, right? This guy does so many things outside of MMA fighting. He's a scholar, right? He's studying to get his diploma in sports science. He hikes. He goes out into the mountains and just trains there for days. He does deprivation chambers. This guy's always, out to eat some delectable stuff. We saw that video of him eating the octopus. Right, he's really close. He's really in touch with his fans. I think Jiri Rrochazka is one of those guys that maintains a really close circle. He's gotten married. He has, he's got his wife pregnant. I think his baby was born recently. And I'm sure he doesn't have many, many close friends. But I feel like if you can get into these activities that Jiri Rrochazka likes to do, imagine you're part of the BJP gym, you're training with him, and then at some point, you say, hey, I'm going to the mountains. And you're like, oh, I really like hiking. You mind if I come with you, whatever. If you're someone that just does things, does your activities, does your hobbies, like you like to hike, you hike around, you like to, whatever it is, you like to rock climb, whatever it is, if you're one of those people that does these things without talking too much, like if you don't break Jiri Rrochazka's silence and his peace, I could very well see him inviting you to come with him, and y'all are just chilling. Maybe 3 words spoken in a 3-day trip, right? 1 word per day, and it's good morning, right? Good day. 1 word per day, 3-day trip. You guys are out there just doing random shit. At the end of the trip, he goes down. You don't really know how he feels about you because he doesn't really talk to you. He was just kind of looking at you and being nonverbal, you're just normal Jiri type shit. And then a couple days later, maybe you guys do it a couple more times, and suddenly, he gets drunk, maybe at a wedding, at some sort of thing, you're invited, and he's just talking about, yeah, this is one of my closest friends, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't know it was like that, I thought this guy just kind of tolerated me. So yeah, man, like little Jiri, Jiri Rrochazka fan fiction, but I think Jiri is one of those guys that you go out with him, if he like invites you to do something and you're not annoying and you don't like talk too much and you just kind of exist and in peace and he can just coexist and he likes your vibe. Again, Jiri's he's into these energies, the magic, the mantra. He's into these like spiritual things. If he likes your vibe, you're chill. You don't really talk too much and you just, happen to do the same activities he's doing and, you're helpful. You're gathering wood for the campfire or whatever. He's one of these guys you could genuinely end up being Jiri Rrochazka's friend. You send him a text message and he'd reply to you like 3 days later in email style, right? He'd be like, dear whatever, and he'd send you, and it's the whole time you guys are talking on WhatsApp. So Jiri Rrochazka, one of these guys, love to be this guy's friend. Of course, statistically never gonna happen. This guy's in the Czech Republic, but if you guys are in the Czech Republic and you're watching this video, bro, go train at BJP Gym and you might just get a chance, all right? On to the next fighter, Tatsuro Taira. I'm happy, thank you! Tatsuro is such like a bundle of joy and just sunshines, man. This guy just brings a wonderful energy into whatever room he steps into. He's just my little pookie bear, man. Little flyweight Japanese man. How could you not love Tatsuro Taira? He's one of these guys where I think he's really shy in real life, right? I mean, there's not really a way to know. I mean, I've seen some interviews, whatever. Maybe it's the way that, English is not his first language. To me, it just seems like he's a little shy. But I feel like the route to like actually be Tatsuro Taira's friend is if you're in his, specifically not his MMA training camp, but his boxing gym. Because if you guys have ever seen like any sort of boxing anime, or you've seen any Japanese boxers go about their training, these Japanese boxing gyms are really close knit together. They do everything together. They go out for dinner. They do their road work together. They do this, they do that. And they tend to be smaller town gyms. Like you see this picture here, it looks like someone's backyard. I think if you were somehow part, just by chance, or you were just doing boxing and Tatsuro Taira happens to be in your gym, you go out with him for the road work, you guys are running together, maybe you do light sparring with him, and then you guys after training, it's 7 p.m., 8 p.m., you guys go get some dinner. That's a routine, like a couple nights a week. You could just be genuinely going out for dinner with Tatsuro Taira. Because again, boxing gyms, that's what they do. They stick really close together, especially in Japan. And if you just happen to be part of Tatsuro Taira's boxing gym, you're nice to him, maybe you're a little bit more extroverted, you do a little bit more of the talking, and he just listens a little bit. And then again, Japanese people, Asian people in general, from my experience, I went abroad I did an exchange period in Asia for a year. These people, like a lot of times they perceive externally to be a lot shy, a lot more shy, a lot more introverted, but you get alcohol in them, bro, you get the drinks flowing, and these people are the life of the party, right? I think Tatsuro Taira, again, Asian people tend to be a little bit lighter weight. With alcohol, you get like a couple shots in him, man, you're having a great time, you're smiling, he's happy, thank you, all right? So Tatsuro Taira, get into his boxing gym, get into his academy. I think you could end up being his friend, bro. Deadass. All right. On to the next fighter. And this is the fighter that actually inspired this video, Bogdan Grad. Now, we all saw his beautiful, wonderful victory in Serbia. I was so happy for Bogdan Grad. This guy is one of the weirdest looking MMA fighters. He looks like a genuine goblin. Like, I think some people, Robert Whittaker and some reporters were talking about Josh Emmett, how he looked like a gremlin off of Skyrim. I forgot what they said, like an orc. This is a real orc, bro. This is a goblin off a Clash of Clans. Like, this is high level stuff. This guy looks like a Sims, like someone you'd make on Sims. This is like your Ark Survival Evolved character. But yeah, man, Bogdan Grad, just a lovely, lovely guy. You go on his Instagram, you go on his YouTube channel he's made recently, and he's just hanging out in his room with his boys, cracking jokes, and you see his room. Like, this is what kind of, inspired, apart from this guy just being like a nice guy and seems super friendly, all of his camp and everyone in his camp was of different places. Like he's from Romania, but there was a guy from Bulgaria, I'm pretty sure. There was a couple guys from the US. I think there was an Italian dude too, if I'm getting the accent right. It just seemed like his camp was full of like multicultural people. And Bogdan Grad, you go to his Instagram, and he's just all about that farm life. I have this picture here of him, bottle feeding a goat. You check his Instagram, it's just so wholesome. This guy just lives a quiet life. And I think it's one of those guys, if he's training in Romania, where I think that's what it looks like from his Instagram. If he's training and living in Romania, and you're part of his MMA gym, like how many actual MMA fighters and MMA gyms can there be in Romania? It can't be that many, right? You're training in Bogdan Grad's gym, they have like, imagine it's someone's birthday, there's a festivity, he invites you to his farmhouse, you're out there drinking raw cow's milk, and you low-key get like some sort of bacterial infection, but it's chill because it's Bogdan Grad. Like, he just seems like the type of teammate, if you guys have ever been in an MMA gym, I've been in 2 MMA gyms, I've trained at 2 MMA gyms in my life, but he seems like that kind of teammate that just invites people over to the crib, like regularly, like maybe 6 times a year you get invited to Bogdan Grad's house for whatever. Every time there's like some sort of festivity, if you guys are getting invited over to do like a watch party, that's something me and my MMA gyms used to do a lot. Just do like UFC watch party or MMA watch parties. He seems like the guy that, you'd go to his house and he has like the big TV in his living room and you guys would just be chilling, and his wife making some delectable ass Romanian food. If you guys are Romanian, let me know what you eat. I have no idea. I've actually never met a Romanian person in real life that I know of. So shout out to Bogdan Grad for being my only reference of Romania. You guys are the goats. But yeah, man, Bogdan Grad just seems like a ray of sunshines and rainbows, just like Tatsuro Taira, a guy that, maybe if he, during fight camp and during maybe when he's dehydrated, you might want to stay away from him. Maybe he'll be a little bit unstable. He seems like he's pretty intense getting into fight week, but he just seems like just a lovely dude, lovely bloke, all right? On to the next fighter, and this is our blobbiest and most huggable fighter on the slideshow, Shamil Gaziev. Braza, good friend, Braza. Shamil Gaziev is the GOAT. This guy is, okay, honestly, like, Shamil Gaziev is not that good at fighting, all right? This guy's ex-volleyball player. He's had some wins over some other blobs. He's like if there's 4 tiers to MMA fighters, the top tier is like Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gahn. Second tier is like Josh Hoke and Alex Pereira. Third tier is like Shamil Gaziev. He's up in there with like Waldo Cortez Acosta even. Like, even though he lost that fight. And then 5th tier is like the blobbiest of blobs. Tai Tuivasa, fucking, I don't know, Thomas Peterson, like whoever you want to put in here. The blobbiest of blobs. So Shamil Gaziev is up in there in the 4th tier. He's bordering the worst of the worst when it comes to heavyweight fighters. But he's just such a sweetheart, man. We've seen those videos with Jaden Cable. We've seen all the Instagram stuff. Like, this guy just seems like he's all joy, all smiles. He'll show you his Instagram feed. Like, we saw the video of him showing Jaden Cable his reels. He seems to be so shy on camera. He has like this infectious smile. This is just one of those guys that you love hanging out around. You'd be in the gym with this guy. I think if you just go out to eat with him, and again, this might be, stereotyping because he's in the heavyweight division and they're fat as fuck. But if you go out to eat with Shamil Gaziev, that's the way into his heart. That's just what it is. I think you go out to eat with him, and whatever he likes to eat, to me, he seems like he really enjoys meat pies. I don't know what gives me that impression of him. You go out, you get some delicious meat pies. You go out for dinner, you go out for lunch after training, you guys are in the training room doing your conditioning, and he just whispers to you like, Braza, what are we doing after, like, where are we going to eat after this? Like, and then you give him a goated food spot. I think that's going to be your homie. That's going to be your homie for sure, right? He's going to, side control you into a blob Kimura Americana in training, but afterward, you guys are going to go out. You're going to get some delicious food. It's going to be a great time. I think Shamil Gaziev, if you train with him and you go eat with him, that would be the key to his heart. All right? And on to the last fighter. Hi, brother. It's me, Charles Oliveira. Now, Charles Oliveira, I feel like you guys clicking on this video, that's who you expected to see. There's no way you look at this guy, you look at how he treats the people around him, how he treats his family, how close he is with his training partners. All his training partners dyeing their hair in preparation of his next fight. If you train in the same gym as Charles Oliveira, you're basically family. All right? God forbid you also like horse carriage racing like he does, and you're extra family. But I think just being in the same training room as Charles Oliveira, you'd have access to his phone number. You'd know where he lives. If you were to show up to his house randomly, like he wouldn't think it was weird. He'd be like, how's it going? Like, he'd offer you something to drink. He'd welcome you into his, to his family. Oh man, I'm smiling just thinking about it. Charles Oliveira, I would love to have this man as a friend. I think we all would love to have Charles as a friend. I think, in a way, this is a little bit parasocial, but in a way, we feel like we are Charles Oliveira, right? We are Charles Oliveira. At most, we're Charles Oliveira. At the least, we're Charles Oliveira's friends. Like, even though we don't know him, he doesn't know our name, he's never seen our faces. Most of us will never meet him in person, right? Just look at this guy, man. Just look at him, man. Just look at this guy. Love to be friends with Charles Oliveira. And I think the requisite, like, again, the whole point of this video is like how it would actually realistically happen. If you train with Charles, no matter, I think it's Chute Box where he trains in Brazil. If you train with him, you guys are chilling afterward, you talk, you're nice, you're not a fucking spaz, right? You're not rolling with him and just ripping heel hooks or whatever, you're not doing anything dumb. I think you show heart. You go in there, you go hard, but you're gentle and you treat people with respect. He treats you with respect. You're going to have access to his phone number. You can pull up to his crib, not too much. You're not going to make it weird, but you can pull up to his crib, get a glass of water, talk with the GOAT, maybe help him out in one of his fundraising operation that he likes to do. It is what it is, man. Charles Oliveira, one of the GOATs of the sport, one of the nicest people of all time. I think this might be the most, or like the least hated MMA fighter ever. So shout out to Charles Oliveira. Shout out to our friend, Charles Oliveira. And yeah, man, thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think about these fighters? What other fighters did I miss? Is there any other MMA fighter you guys have in mind that you could actually be friends with? Or are you actually friends with any MMA fighters? I'd like to know. I've made a couple MMA fighter friends, but they're all retired. They're all unks. One guy used to fight in the UFC. He's actually the guy that runs my gym. Another guy was like trying to get on the Contender Series, had some visa issues, didn't get on. But I've had some pro MMA fighter friends. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna go drink some water. Ciao, ciao.